Right, hello, hello. Oops, I lost it. Here we go. All right, chat should be up now. I think you can hear me. Looks like you can. Please let me know when you see it. Yeah, it's there. All right. So I'm just gonna start talking. I know you guys are in the delay, so if I don't see anything in a little bit, then I'll know that it's not working. Anyway, yesterday we missed some big data out there. I basically slept. I was so exhausted. I don't know. Still a little bit foggy today, not as bad as yesterday. I don't really have to do much. Don't have to leave the house until like 5 or 6 o'clock. So overall, again, recovering slightly. Sounds good. Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate it, bud. Um, so yesterday's data, core number on a monthly basis again came in as expected, but the monthly CPI increased. It did go down, but it was higher than what they expected. And then the yearly CPI was supposed to drop. It did not, showing that again, that there's a hold in those CPI numbers. Now, again, as I said, CPI is not the most important thing out there. Some of the other numbers are, but the other numbers have also justified it as well. You know? And then this morning, new loans for China, obviously down. BOE, Bailey speaking a little bit. And Harker is speaking right now. Harker is drunk, just so you guys know. I don't care if this offends Harker or not. The Fed is likely to be done with rate hikes. All we saw earlier this week from yesterday and the FOMC was a majority of people. Again, their projections were one more rate hike. A majority of people thought that there was one more in there. And then Harker's like, oh, the data, right? Oh, the data, supports higher for longer, right? The Fed's unlikely to, oh, wait, is likely to be done with rate hikes, which, again, absent stark turn in data, the Fed can hold rates. Um, I mean, here's how I look at that. The PPI data shows that it's surging. Yesterday's data CPI also going higher. So if we don't change anything, what's going to magically suddenly be like, oh, that's it. It's working now. It didn't last month, but I know it's okay. Again, what they have is not restrictive enough to be holding it down. It did go lower, but again, we're seeing an advance and it wasn't as low as people thought. So again, don't exactly know what Parker is thinking. And right now, obviously the VIX spiked because of that data because it was such a surprise. And there's a response. And it hasn't gone all the way back down again. I mean, there's comments about how the market is factoring, the raise is already factored in, right? And whether they raise or not, it's already been factored into the market. Again, going from basically 105.50-ish all the way up to 106.50-ish. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to say much. Now, does it mean that, because the Fed raising interest rates, does that mean that it's the end of the world? No. No. I mean, the market's able to, the market has been resilient. If you trust the data is showing us that, yeah, we got, it's okay, right? We want to make sure that we, kill inflation, but also not kill the economy. And the economy's not dying. I mean, there are other factors out there that are hurting the economy. Um, Earnings are bad, but is it because the economy? Is that the reason why the earnings are bad? No, not really, right? I mean, the auto industry is having major problems. The union workers are now going after Ford's most profitable plant, right? Their F-150 trucks, which we talked in the beginning. It's like, less profitable things is probably not going to affect them that much. And it didn't. And they're using this basically as a way. And again, the guy's language is so aggressive. He's like, we'll teach them a lesson. We'll see if we go after their profit. And it's amazing. Like, you look at the amount of auto workers there are involved with this, but then like the chain down the road affects over 100,000 something other people down the road without those trucks. So it's kind of like, hey, we matter, but screw everybody else. I don't know. His tone is just so aggressive. He just rubs me such the wrong way. I just really dislike that guy. Um, and it's crazy because, Ford has said, hey, listen, we've brought our top exec to come to these meetings, and then he just doesn't even show up. It just shows that he's been in it for going for the long game forever. And again, I guess that, yeah, there should be some fairness in there, but I guess the sticking point for Ford was like, hey, listen, we're not going to allow our battery plant people to unionize. And do you blame them? I mean, if it's like, yeah, things should be fair, but it also goes supply and demand, right? That's what supply and demand is designed for, right? The battery plant is extremely important to the future, right? If you don't pay enough, people aren't going to work there, right? So you're going to have to raise the rates. It's a supply and demand thing, right? And I don't blame them. Do they want to shut down in this one in the future? Do they want their future hinging upon whether the union is happy or not happy? No, I wouldn't want to do it, you know. But I guess one of the other automakers said that their battery plant can unionize if they really, really want, you know. And we'll see if that's where the direction goes. But in all honesty, if you're running a business as a private company and profit is your thing, having people basically, we're just going to shut it all down. It's like, all right, well, can I do it cheaper overseas? You got to look. You got to look at your due diligence. So I don't know. So right now, that's not helping the Fed or hurting the Fed. That's again, they're looking at it, but anything detrimental that comes from, that comes from, you know, bad earning, that's not the Fed that's doing it, right? It's again, that goes over to the auto worker side of things. So, right now indices all in the green a little bit. And again, not the end of the world, right? The data is justifying it. We don't want inflation to keep creeping in there. It will have lasting effects that go well beyond the near term kind of data points. And right now the indices are actually holding pretty good. YM, the manufacturing index, right? Up 0.93, almost 1%. So again, decent. Apple, Tesla, they're kind of split right now. Commodities. Again, this is where we don't want the start to happen. And again, you're seeing commodities. Harker making these comments, and what's happening? Gold and silver are both up 2%. They're like, oh, inflation's going to get a chance to go higher. And that's exactly what they're doing. Um, Again, gold up 2%. When was the last time we really saw a 2% gold move, right? And again, it's not like the dollar's collapsing, right? The dollar is not collapsing, right? Did gold just go to zero? No. No, but when the news came out, we went from, 85 area and we dropped what, $20 as it should. And it wasn't the end of the world. I mean, again, inflation is not actually bad, a certain extent of it. But now what's happening? It's the comments being made. Harker's like, yeah, we're done. We don't need to raise because of the data. What data? Right? So the market's looking at this, and finally, again, we're seeing it start to turn back again. But a lot of that is because of, again, the dollar index, right? The dollar index starting to rally back again, and we'll see if we can clear this level. Overall, again, we've been saying, I think one more raise makes sense. Um, the data to me, again, waiting the next 6 months, we're trying not to get this stuff entrenched. Again, we've been trying to get this back down to 2% for over a year now, and to say that, oh well, it was 6. Okay, so on a yearly basis, but you're comparing that to crazy wild swings and a pandemic that we never seen before, right? We've been back to business for a little while now, right? My kids have gone through 2.5 school years since all that craziness happened. So to say that, oh well, last year, right? We've been fighting this for 2 years now, and we're still not back. We're still over double, almost double what we should be. So again, that's where we're at with it. Oil again. Yeah, it was nice seeing this big drop down, and then it's pushing back up again. And right now, again, we pulled right back into that same window we talked about. We were kind of, again, we talked about 83, 80, filling that gap we did, and it rallied all the way back up to the top side. Um, we're kind of back in the window, and kind of the news we've heard so far is, we're not seeing, the Middle East situation has not really jacked this up, and I say yet, right? Um, you know, Syria is also slightly getting involved now. Iran has made comments that if you go over here, then we are going to go as well, and it's kind of getting to a standoff, which is looking to drag more and more people in. Um, there's a lot of problems with it. I think Israel at this point, they said that the last I heard on it is that I guess it takes 7 to 10 days to fully mobilize the ground army, but as of like Sunday or Monday, the army will be that's about how long it takes to mobilize, arm, and put in the right positions to start a ground offensive. They've already cut off all humanitarian aid, so if you were a civilian there, sorry, it sucks to be you because they've cut everything off and hospitals have run out of power. So if you're a civilian that lives there in that strip, and you're not a war fighter, and you get injured because of the bombings, you can't even go to the hospital. They've cut all humanitarian aid off. So it's a rough scenario. It's not good for anybody. So it's not affecting oil yet. And again, there's no sanctions. And again, the White House is reaffirming we have found zero smoking guns, but the history of Iran, they keep going to the butt, but they've absolutely found zero proof that they had any idea. Actually, the intelligence is saying the opposite. They're saying that the high level Iranian officials were actually surprised by the fact that there was an offensive. So it's actually the exact opposite of what everybody's assumptions have been, which again, I think is part of the problem. The media is just, it was Iran. They absolutely did it because they've helped them in the past. Absolutely, 100%. And yet all the data and intelligence is saying the exact opposite, that they were taken by surprise and shock of the whole thing. Um, yeah, yeah. So I don't think the story's over yet. I'm still very, very leery. I think it still has geopolitical risk associated with it. So be very, very cautious with oil. There's nothing there yet, but we don't know when um, the next news release is going to change this one. And again, heart goes out to all the innocents over there losing their lives and the suffering that is occurring. It's just amazing. You know, we still have this type of stuff day and age. So huge history. I mean the amount of history. Like, I'm a history buff. I do love learning about histories. The history is just it goes so far back. It's just unreal. It's just impossible to like digest. Natural gas coming back down, but we're still at 326. Like, if we were at like 290, it'd be like, yeah, it's back where it should be. It's better than the 380 mark. So again, we'll break it down later, but I mean, it's much better than the 350 mark. I was happy when we came down here. We didn't quite get to 319. Um, 321 was close enough, right? But yeah, I think seeing this kind of come back to the downside is decent. But again, gold and silver right now, the market is laughing at the Fed. They're like, you're going to let inflation continue to go, and that's exactly what that's exactly what the markets are showing right now. The Fed, with comments like Harker's, it's going to be allowed to go. Now, I will say, and again, this is this is in all joking. This is like again, I'm probably half as smart as I was on Wednesday morning. It's funny that Harker's talking about this kind of stuff because we're waiting for Bostic to jump in, right? Bostic is the guy that always has to throw those weird comments in and stuff like, yeah, yeah, maybe we should start cutting now because that will help. It's like, what? That's where it's going to be interesting. But yeah, supposedly it's likely that we're done, but yet a majority of people favored one more raise. So I'm not sure how Harker's saying likely, but yet a majority on Wednesday um, expected one more raise, and the projections are one more raise. So yeah, I don't know how that exactly works. Again, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for one of these Fed meetings, or like not necessarily a fly, but like, I don't know, like, let me send post-it note questions in, right? I think that would be yeah, I think that would be fun. Anyway, as far as today goes, oops, like yesterday, we'll get preliminary consumer sentiment in a little bit. We'll see the inflation expectations, where that'll go in just about 13 minutes. So yeah, as far as movement goes, again, you're seeing dollar strength. There's no question there. Again, not a lot in the yen. Again, it's hard to play that one. Dollar Swiss. Again, it's been over 24 hours, so again, not giving necessarily an accurate reading. It's more just stabilizing than anything else. Dollar CAD, a little bit of movement. Aussie dollar down. Again, it's dollar strength. You are seeing euro pound up about 23, which percentage wise is a big move. Pound yen down 84. Again, seeing some pound weakness, and you have things like this out there that the leading economic decline again. And again, the pound is again, they're on an island. It's you know, small nation. They've navigated successfully through Brexit, but they're still not. You think about it, they had Brexit, COVID, right back to back. So again, the nation is not fully back up to speed of where it should be. So it's what it is. It's there. So yeah, so let's just go into the markets at this point. As I said, VIX, big spike yesterday. We're kind of coming back again today. I would see it, most likely deteriorating unless the talk is going to be about this interest rate thing. And again, I do fully support one more interest rate rise. I think it's extremely important to get inflation back down again. A lot of things are back, but it concerns me when producers are starting to pay more for things. Because again, producers have two options. They can either raise their prices to consumers, or they can just, take it and, again, not have great earnings. And the problem with not having great earnings is, again, they have a responsibility in publicly traded companies to produce profits. And again, you can just say, it's okay, we'll just take less profit this time, or they can try to do everything in their power to, make up for the fact that, it's costing them more to produce things. Um, things, things get passed down the road. You got to, the bills have to be paid somehow. So I see that there will be a slight bump based off of what we've seen. And again, oil's not at 95, but it's also it's not at 70. So we're there. Dixie, as I said, holding high. Are we up here? We're sellers. Yeah, but again, I think this is the market adjusting. Basically the data that's come in, as well as what the Fed has had to say. Again, like I said, things like what Harker is saying today make absolutely zero sense. Again, I forget what it's called. It's not a theory, but it's, there's some law behind it about, the most likely outcome tends to be the one that is most truthful or something like that. Again, I probably knew what it was on Wednesday, but just can't think of it today. Yeah. So I think that's. I, I don't see us shooting all the way back down by money. Put it that way. Um, oops. Aussie dollar. All right. So Aussie dollar. Obviously, what happened here? We knew that there was a big move, right? We knew that something was going to come in. The data came in. They're like, "Hey, watch this one," and boom! Again, it was. I would say it was more headline. Is it as important as you know? Is this as important as some of the, again, is it as important as the PPI data? No, it's not. But the move on it was just monstrous because that's what, CPI has been the gauge and that's what the media and that's what the overall market looks like. It's like, oh God, what's inflation right now? Even though it's not the best number to be using or the best data point to be using, it has been what the news has been using. And it's what a lot of the average Joe out there is looking at when they see these things. So, um, yeah, I mean, again, since that time, has it done much? Not really, right? Not really. We're still kind of in the same range. And that's why it looks like there's not a lot of movement. Um, this was such a big shock yesterday for the system, right? I'm not surprised by the data, but a big shock to the system. That's why it dropped. And now it's like, oh God, what do we do with it? Now, with that being said, we do have 63 right below where we are. 63 will be a big psychological level. There's obviously buyers in here. We've seen them in the past. It's this area over here. Here, I'll just adjust this. It's this whole area that we're playing with. So there's a bunch of small little areas where it's like bam, 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 bam. So kind of hard to look at this and be like, here we go, great trade setup. I think as we got to look at this weekend is again, we do have a potential area to bounce to take this long to get some profit taking coming in. Um, but overall, I think again, if we just on a fundamental basis, I think the dollar is stronger than the Aussie. It's just you're seeing the dollar or the gold rise, so you're getting a strong type scenario. So right now, the only thing that I really like trade wise on this one is if we break below 62.70, right? We do have a Harry Potter trade there, and again, we do have again, is Michigan consumer sentiment going to change it? No, not really. I don't see that being the end all be all kind of for what we're looking for. So, um, overall, my opinion on this one, it's Friday. Double checking. Yes, it is Friday. It's Friday. It's sideways movement. No trend. Is there any details? No, not really. Right. We don't have a whole lot in after such a huge move yesterday. And again, it really was a huge move. You're talking about 102 pips down, and it's got a 67 pip daily ATR. So not quite two, but not far from two. Right. So yeah. Um, yeah. I think probably today, I don't think we're going to get enough move to get any type of trade. Set an alert, look for this one, look for it to roll in the next week is about all we can do. And again, looking over here at all that, the percent changes, um, the biggest one is dollar Swiss at down 0.38%. This is basically tied for second at 0.13. So just too much shock. Friday, that's what you're dealing with, right? Also, yeah, very similar. Big shock down. Now, this one we had a level down here. We're talking about 94.36, and you can see we actually hit it this morning. Again, this one only has let's see, how much does it have to move? It only had about 30 pips to move, and this one was a little bit deep. This whole area was about 17 pips, so a little bit on the bigger side. Actually, we could adjust it down just a little because that's where we're looking for it to go there. So, you know, it's obviously going against the grain today, a big reversal. And again, you're seeing it start to rally back up from that area. If anything, if you were looking to take this one short yesterday, you kind of had these pushes back down again. There was another kind of pullback, probably to a 23. Was that a 23? Yeah, it was. Yeah, this kind of like 23.6 pullback right here. See it right there, right into that basing level, and that was just a continued push to the downside. But at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to close above and we start pushing back up again. We do have to clear this level. The question is, are you going long now? Nah, it's too far out of that zone already. If you're already in it, just trail yourself. Just trail yourself. I mean, it probably will start to slow down a little bit. Um, eh, eh. I think it probably stabilizes a little bit, goes a little bit higher. I'd be curious to see where we end for the week, and that may actually help us continue to push to the downside. Um, are we going to get a parabolic retracement? Nah, it's not really. Again, anything like an interest rate change is not typically it's a fundamental change in the market, so it's a little bit different. Um, I'd say right now, again, this area, excuse me, this area concerns me a little bit. If we clear through the top side of that one, I'd say do it this way. I don't want to fully mark it yet. Change that to green. Whoops. So approximately there, right? I do again. Too big of a base right now to determine, but if we can start rallying up and start basing in here, depending on what happens Sunday night, I think we have the ability to take this long again. And I don't think the situation, the yen is not a great situation. Um, I'll tell you right now, it's getting really precautious over there. I guess China scrambled jets because the U.S. decided to run some type of plane that looks for submarines. I don't know what it was, but like a scout plane of some sort. They decided to run it up the dead center of the Taiwan Strait. And again, China claims that if they have both sides, that's all theirs, and the United States is like, no, 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 we went right down the middle. That's international waters. Again, I don't know why they're trying to provoke China to take over Taiwan. Like it's like let's open up three fronts of war. I mean, I don't know, but China did scramble jets on that one. If that happens or anything, if that intensifies whatsoever, the yen should tank very very fast. And again, this one should rally all the way back up again to this 95 range. And I do actually believe it belongs more up here in the 95, 98 range. I think this is artificially low. Again, the yen wasn't strong. This was just a proxy through the dollar. So coming through 94.89, look for this one. Again, whenever we do come through and break, um, it's going to be kind of more one of these type scenarios. Kind of more one of those. I don't know when. It could be here, could be here, could be here. Maybe it's sitting. Maybe it's along those lines right there. Maybe that's what we're looking for, and that'll be Monday evening. Okay. Euro dollar. Big spike, no surprise. Came down, and again, we talked about targets at 105.30. You can see we hit that target and actually pulled back up as we should. I don't think this was a fib level. Yeah, it kind of was, right? It was again, very easy to see the basing here, right? Oops, I gotta change it back. I was like, why is it green? Big push down, base back and forth, big push down. So again, we knew it was levels of sellers. They're chopping. It actually comes in here lower. Came up, grabbed it, and pushed lower. So again, there was a trade there. The trade's officially out. Our target got hit at this point. So again, you can run it all the way down if you really, really want. There's not really much you can do with this one right now, right? The next zone is not till all the way down here. Do we have the power right now to get all the way down there? Another 40 pips. I mean, it can do that in 4 hours, but is consumer sentiment going to be that crazy? Does it have that much power to bring that much strength in here to drive that all the way down? I mean, again, a little bit of a hangover from yesterday on this one. We're talking about 101 pip move. It's got a 73 pip daily ATR. So, I mean, if anything, here's your trade in the morning, right? To pull back to that level, right? You can see you're out. Shrink it down into here for the 23 level. You're out at this point. Trade's done. It's Friday. Be done with it. You can't really do much more. So, yeah, yeah. Fortunately, there's not. Like I said, we talked about hitting it, and we did. So, yeah. Fortunately, this is a nice little. Went a little bit early. It wasn't 5:30. It was like a 4:30. Not a bad little reversal. Curiosity got me now. I was asleep. I did not get this one. I was not waking up for anything. Yeah. There's your 1 to 3. It moved 1 to 4. Yeah. 10 for 30. There's your 30 mark right there. So 10 for 30's gotta love them. Favorite trade that exists ever. Right. And here's a great learning lesson on this one too. Right. I mean, obviously the price is down here, but here you go. Right. I love 10 for 30s because between 35 and 40 things tend to change. This one went down to here, which was 39.9 or 39.5. And then what did it do? It went straight up in the air again. Right? There's just that natural profit taking that comes in right around that 35 to 40 pips. And again, that's why a lot of times when I find it, something like a 10 to 30, right? 10 to 30 right there. I love them, right? It's like get me out before I have to, why deal with the whips off? I don't have to, right? 10 pips versus great. It's easy for calculations. It's like, Nice stuff. All right, let's see what consumer confidence was. Oof. Oof. All right, so again, Harkey says, "Hey, don't worry about it, guys. It's all good. The Fed's done." Consumer sentiment has got really, really crappy, and the inflation expectations is like, "Hey, inflation's going higher." So Harker's a great guy. As I said, he is intoxicated this morning. Maybe he's doing the puff puff pass and not passing. Um, the inflation, the survey last time people thought inflation was down at 3.2, and now they're saying, hey, the inflation expectation is 3.8. People think that it's actually worse than it actually is at that 3.7 data reading. So again, I don't know exactly what Harker's thinking, what he's looking at. Like, share, pass what you're smoking. I don't know. But again, here's the general public. Here's what people feel. It's getting more expensive. You're not doing a good job. You're doing a bad job, right? It's like the that Ryan Reynolds movie, The New Guy or whatever. Is it The New Guy? Where he's blue shirt guy, right? He's like, don't have a great day, or don't have a good day, have a great day, right? You're not doing a good job. You're not doing a bad job. You're doing a horrible job, right? Again, it's 2 years in. People are saying it's getting worse. It's getting worse. So yeah, not fun. And that's why we're seeing the chop. But overall, again, the Fed's not going to look at the consumer side and be like, "Oh crap, look at this." They don't. It's not one of those things. So not necessarily a big concern. Euro pound, again, a lot of chop back and forth. This one pretty much done for the week. Again, they have 2 hours left in their day. Overall, we talked about this bottoming level here, and again, I love the fact that it hit it again, hit it again. They got front run it. I think that is great. This is it's only a 5 pip level on that one. We are looking for more of a Harry Potter trade back down to this level. And again, a little bit of chop in there. The real Harry Potter came in with a break of 86. Now we've stabilized at 86.45. So we're pushing back up, and we've seen obviously some pound weakness. But looking to the left, I'm going to shrink it just so you can see it. There's a you got a piece here, right? You got a little hiccup right here. You got a little hiccup right here, right? You got a little hiccup. Whoops. You got a little hiccup right there, right? You got a little hiccup right there. So you can see there's a lot of little tiny areas. And again, I'm not drawing fibs manually. It's just clink, 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 clink. There's a lot going here. If you do run fibs on it, you can see a couple of them match up. These two are between the 50, close to the 61.8. This is at the 78. This is just above the 78. And that one's obviously sitting at the top. If I run all the way back up to the top, look what just happened, right? This one became invisible on the 50. This one became invisible because it's on the 61.8. If I wasn't, there. And obviously this one is sitting up top. So when you run fibs in there, it's like, oh my God, they just all disappeared. So there's a lot of areas in the euro pound. Again, keep this one using it as a proxy. It's Friday. There's not going to be many more opportunities. And really, I mean, if we're talking about top to bottom, I mean, I can draw it from top to bottom, but you're only talking about, I don't know, in 2 weeks, 84 pips worth of movement. These little zones in here, that one is 5 pips apart. To this one is 15 pips apart. To this one is 23. To this one is only 33. So to go from where we are now to really the start of the trend, because obviously there was a different trend here going up, right? There was an uptrend here, and then the trend changed down here, right? So here's the big question. Let's see. This was a very fast one, but top to bottom, whoops. That's a little bit deeper, right? A little bit deeper, right? Well, actually, I didn't draw it right. Hold on. It's basically the same because this should be here, right? So it took longer time, but those two heights, you see, there you go. There's the bottom, there's the top. Same move. So the question is, are we going to have this much movement? You may say, well, where did that come from? It's measured moves tend to repeat themselves. I've done this a bunch of times, and when it comes out, you're like, how did that happen? Right? It's like, what? Yeah, it's not magic. It's just, again, you see the patterns. This one happened at a faster acceleration pace, but again, this move was exactly what this move was. Height wise, right? Not time, height. So this move here, maybe this one takes longer. Maybe this one changes its angle to here and then comes back down again. But keep that on your radar. Keep that on your it just happened. This move here just happened to have the same length and go right back into an area buyers and popping. So again, we're talking about little tiny pips. You can see right now it's 0.00 over here in the movement. It's down 0.4 of a pip. So not even a full pip from where it was yesterday. So yeah. See if we can get how much does it actually need to move? It only needs to go up another 20 pips. So if we can go up 20 more and then roll back in, yeah, look like a genius. You're a pound. You're a pound pretty much, right? I'm sorry, you're a yen. So yesterday morning, you saw the pop up because of the yen, and it ran into sellers, and it hit him, it hit him, it hit him. We had two little levels over here. You can see the second one actually got hit this morning at the European, actually yesterday at the European Open, and we watched it deteriorate down. And what did it do? It chopped through, found the buyers, came up, and started the base right at 158. Came back down, found them same buyers right here again, came up and hit 158 again. Came down, grabbed those same buyers again, and came up. Yes, it's repeating itself. Um, so yeah, the same thing just keeps repeating itself again and again and again. Yeah, I mean, where do we go here? We're basing. Maybe again, is the yen really, really strong right now? Is the world awesome because of the yen? No, but at least we're through this area of buyers, so hopefully we can push back down again. Again, it coincides with seeing maybe the euro and the pound kind of swapping as well. Is there a great setup? Not really. I mean, you an area could be drawn. And again, we can mark all these all off again. There's the area, and again, this is what 158 does. It has hit it already two times, so the next time it should probably pop through and go higher. But there's not really a Harry Potter, so you know you got to look and say, okay, where are buyers? I don't need the dotted line anymore. Buyers, 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 buyers. So there's a big area over here of buyers coming in. Again, with the European market closing in 2 hours. Um, eh, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, let's see. 50, 50, 50, 50, boom, boom. Hit four, hit. Yeah, so I think it probably has room to run till probably here. That'd be my target for them. Pound dollar we got here. All right. Didn't make it all the way up. Yesterday's move, totally understandable. Profit target, tagged it, so we are out of that profit target. So that one is out. There was our peak. Potter, the alert is still live. We are to 61, and there is a rally, a kind of choppy base, and then another push forward. So we are at an area where there could be some profit taking. It's actually hit it once and is kind of loading back up again. Um, and again, what is it doing? It's grabbing this one. Hmm. Honestly, wait. This is another. And again, this is Friday. I hate Friday sometimes. Again, this is a wait. Right. This is a wait. Um, Alert is set. We'll see how this one goes over the weekend. I kind of would like it to hit and bounce. If we can hit and bounce, I think that would be the best scenario. Eat up some of the buyers today, pull back a little bit, and then we look for the surge to punch through lower. Um, again, we're looking for a breakthrough of 2106. Let's see if there was something that I some slim chance this is the bottom. We reverse back up again. There could be something there. Just so I know that there's something weird to look at later. So yeah, if this is the bottom and we do reverse back up again, this is a small area. I did have to go to a 15 to find a decent level on it. Yeah, look for potential, little maybe a turn in there. Um, yeah, overall I like the short. Again, this would be in my watch list right now. Right, that would be my watch list. Pound yen. All right, so pound yen. Oh crap, I did it again. Base again. Really kind of a pullback. One hit, two hit, three started the base before. Again, this one came up again. You're like, oh, come on, break it. I mean, it literally kind of told us that, hey, listen, there's buyers there. Hit him, came through, and Harry Potter. So let's see how far and how close you are to profit. We'll see if you can get out of this one before 1 to 3. Actually, oh, you're like right at there's 2.99. There's 3.05. Can I actually get it in at 3? There's 3. So it did. It actually broke through the bottom. You know what? I don't want to cheat this one. Let's get this one dead on. What the heck was that? Wait, where did it go? There it is. Okay, now it's 2.82. There you go. 3 exactly. All right, so this one's almost done. And again, it's a level we drew before. You know, one hit, a base. You're like, yep, it's gonna break, gonna break, gonna break. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's your 5. There's your Harry Potter trade, and it's literally about to graze through the bottom side. You just move a few more pips. There are buyers down here, so I mean, this is what we're running into right now, profit taking wise. That's what you expect to see, right? Yeah, and understanding the dynamics behind it. So, yeah, that's why we're having some little chop, but it's about to hit. So again, not much I can do with this one. This was an old level from last week, and again, we finally broke through. This basing in here is awesome, right? You gotta love the basing, and then when it comes this way and smashes, you're like, yep, 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 and it did. It broke through, and the only level that we had was the broken one. So there you go. You're officially out. So that was a 15 for 47 in the other direction. Again, easy little Harry Potter tree. What do you do with this one now? You can't do much. I mean, you're done. You literally just got a profit. If you want to keep trailing it, great. Just keep trailing it down. Protect your profit. This entire area over here has sellers in it. Again, from the different spikes. So yeah, not much else to say about this one, right? Not much else. Look for it to continue to push. Dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. Let's run some fibs on this one. There's our push. And you can see that there's a little bit of basing in here. Not great, though. But if anything, I would say that, again, there's a lot of sellers here. Let's turn this back yellow. I don't need this one to be purple because I'm not dropping this one to lower time frames. This base here showed me that, hey, listen, do not sell this one short. And again, not really the best level. If you're looking for the 50 in this one, look, there's sellers there. We pushed it to the brink. It's like, oh, not great. And then we pushed it to the brink again. And then we started the base right before it. So this is a no-no. This is a no-no. And again, 1, 2, and 3. The second it did this, you're like, it's not going to hold. Do not take this one short. And you shouldn't have. It went up. It grabbed the 61.8. And again, actually, it missed the 61.8 by just like a little bit. It started putting kind of again, the first time we actually got a confirmation of a downtrend is here. Red, green, and red here. So this kind of there's where your red, green, red is. All right. Now, problem with this one is that you also have buyers here, right? You know that you got buyers in there. So, and that's what we've run into on the other side. So ideally, if we're able to break through this set, we have had one hit, we have had a second hit. If we start to kind of bunch and pace through, we should actually have another short trade in here. Again, starting to retrace this one. And this one, again, is it super weak dollar? Nah, it's probably some profit taking from the dollar, but also seeing that crude is up 3.5% today, right? Being up that big in crude, again, it's not really what we want, what we like to see, but it's what's happening, right? Um, yeah, not ideal, but Right now, I would say if you are looking for a short in this one, if this one punches through, absolutely. This one is an 11 for 33 or 11 for 36. I think there's your target and your entry if you get a confirmation coming through it. It'll be coming right there. All right, and I'm actually okay with this one. I think coming down to 36 actually makes a lot of sense. Um, kind of okay with that one. Let's see, we got dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss coming back down. Same thing. Found the top. There's your turn. Yeah, here's your Thursday trade. So remember we talked about the news coming down. If we could be there for news, the news came in here, right? You got the red, green, red. So profitable trade from yesterday. Take some of these off so we can start clearing these up for next week. So there's a base here. You can see that there was a touch there and there. Um, the best trade would have been here. This is kind of like a secondary trade. Like we're sitting here, we're like, hey, listen, this is one of those ones that does those beautiful setups, and there it is. I don't love this one over here. And again, it's Friday. I mean, if the name of the game is going to be like, shorten the dollar at this point. Again, the way that it looks to me right now, this is a more bearish setup, but can we do much with it right now? We're getting some basing here. Are we going to get a decent chop in there? Maybe, maybe. But overall, I do like this one returning back down to the, excuse me, at least the 90 mark. Right? The 90 is not bad. Like, I'm okay with 90. Yeah. Yeah, at this point, I think there's too much in there. I like this one short for 50 more pips. It is chopping back and forth because of the buyers. There is a little bit of a racetrack. It was an emotional move for the top side, but the up and down on this one, it's going to be hard to get the entry. Here's the entry, right? Level of basing, it turned around and came back, and then kind of the explosion out of it at 3 o'clock with the European Open. There's your overnight test. There's the trade. You guys can see here's the trade right here, and it's 10 pips, and 30 is right there. So there's 1 to 3 exactly. So there's the trade. If you're getting a second one, kind of a little bit hard, but again, another example of 10 for 30. What did it do? It actually came down to there's 33 pips, and you can see it's chopping back at 33 pips. There's 30 pips exactly, right? And again, goes right back to the 10 for 30. That's why I like the 10 for 30 so much. So, yeah, just don't hold it. Get in, get out, and then be safe. Yeah. Dollar yen. So dollar yen had a nice pop. And again, here's where the news came in. We knew something was going on there. You're seeing there's a big explosion here with the dollar. Obviously, the data justified it yesterday. It's not retracing back. It is kind of trending back to the downside. But you can see as much as it tried, right? I mean, that move is actually not as big as you would think. It's about, I don't know, 77 pips. We were seeing 110, 130, and other pairs that have a smaller ATR in this one. But again, we know that they're artificial sellers up here. So that's the reason why. Um, that's why you're seeing, again, these kind of push to the downside. So, yeah, I wish we had more on this one. I like this one short as well. Not that I think the yen's going to help us out, but again, I think it's overly. I think it's this one's a little bit overdue. I think we're going to run into more sellers up here. And again, weekend is when the BOJ tends to do a lot of stuff. Wouldn't be surprised if we start to see this push back down with some more pressure coming in. Let's go over and look at crude. Again, crude coming up. Did we hit it? Nope, we missed it by a little bit. It's running into the sellers right here. So thankfully, it's pulling back again. Thankfully, if there's no sellers or no buyers down here that it can come back and grab. Um, Crude right now, where crude is, again, it's definitely running into people. We like shorts at 87.23. Didn't quite get there. Seeing the way that this it came through and it's kind of pulling back up again, I kind of do like this one to the downside. Can we get that? Excuse me. Can we get down to 83.80? I actually don't mind that one. Yeah, I like this one down. I mean, I wouldn't pull the trigger on the short right now, but I do like this one to push back down again and maybe stabilize. Hopefully, we can close between the 83 and 83.50. If we can get another 50-cent drop, it'd be great. Um, if we open up here in the 87 mark on Sunday night, though, I do think we look to take shorts, unless there's any, unless magically the U.S. Signals that there's sanctions, we're not buying Ukrainian oil. If we can get up here, I think that's an easy short for next week. Natural gas continue to push lower. Looks like we just came down to the 321 mark. Again, we're looking for 319 as the next big area. And there's a lot there. There is sideways movement, a little bit of base in here. So it's in a good spot. It's in a good spot. I like it pulling back. I think this is great that it's pulling back. You can see, look at all the basing in here, and it actually used that this morning. That actually wasn't a horrible trade either. We just need a little bit more push to clear through this. We're past it, right? And that's what we're running into. We just need one more little push. Yeah, I would say, let's see, 314. We got to clear through that before we can break through. So again, right now, downside target 319. If we can break through 314. Remember, it's Friday. This one does close a little bit early, so just keep that on your radar. Gold continuing. And again, comments from Harker is why this is going higher. We see what the dollar's doing. We are getting a little bit of dollar weakness right now. But remember, you buy gold when you expect inflation to keep increasing. If Harker honestly believes that, hey, listen, that's it, we're not going to raise anymore. Everything is it's perfect. It's great. This will continue to go higher. So right now, I think gold is overpriced. I do think I think it needs to be shot down. I think the Fed needs to obviously kind of do something about it. Um, yeah, I, we're playing with this right now. We're playing with this. Two big areas. There's a little bit in here. This one's gonna be a little bit harder to get to. So you can see what we're playing with right now. So these are the next three levels out here. This one kind of has a Harry Potter. If we break through, there's that. This. Right now, the question is, will we seesaw off this one? 786 level. This one's gonna have a little bit more chop in here. There's a little bit more fuzz on the top of this one. But with it loading up right now, again, I think gold has the ability to go higher. Go above 1931, 78, or 75. Just make it 75. Again, long for that. There you go, 1945. So longs above 1931.75, shorts at 1945 to the downside. With gold, silver again, it's up. Gold is up. Where is it? Gold's up 3.25. So technically, silver should be up like 5%. Thankfully, it's not up 5%. um, yeah, this made sense. It did the right thing over here. It came back, and then again, is this morning's data? Is it right? No. But if Harker thinks that the data is there to not raise anymore, yeah, again, Harker is drunk or manipulating currency on purpose. 2260. We're way too high on silver, right? We're way too high on silver. We know we have an old level. Whoops. We know we have an old level here again. It's an old Harry Potter level. I'll mark it, but it's been a long time and it really didn't give us the base we were looking for. But there's a small level sitting right there. Unfortunately for this one, top side, we know we got a big area, but it just, it's like junky, right? I can't use. We're getting close to 70, so I'll just delete this. Nope. All right. I can't use this, right? I can't use that as a top. It's too big, much larger than any zone out here, so it gets a little bit difficult, and that's up at 21 or 2350. So right now, I guess this is the next big thing. We're pushing up, and again, are we going to have a reversal off 2275? I think it's not bad. Understand there is no zone technically. This is a previously violated zone. Been a long time for Harry Potter, so again, a little bit on the harder side to really do a lot with, right? So yeah, yeah. I love it. I'm gonna get one with Apple. Apple again, inside range, inside day right now. Right. There's your top, bottom. There's our inside day for Apple. A little bit negative, not horrible. What's Tesla doing? Tesla's actually outside of the range, so Tesla's down, but it's got some buyers down below. Getting a little bit of negativity on this one. A little negativity again. That may be because God, oil's up almost 4% now. Indices are now mixed. Let's see. VIX actually pushing up a little bit. And again, VIX is probably pushing up now because that sentiment is like, holy crap, you know. I'm assuming that's what it is. Gold surging or see, gold, silver surging, and the dollar surging. So yeah. Here's we got ESYs. 830. So unfortunately, this is an old violated zone. We talked about it pushing back down again, right, from all that news data. And here's where the big news data came in. Again, 100% justified. We turned off that. We can take this one just to clear, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Here's where we're at 915. We were surging higher. You could have made a case that there was a zone up here. Whoops. Killed the zone. It just was not close enough. So overall, here's the 930 candle. It just Um, yeah, so I don't think ES is wrong here. I think Harker's out. I think the market's kind of seeing what it is. Again, with the dollar rising, not surprising here. I don't know that we get much outside though. I mean, if you look to see where we are from yesterday, right, on a daily basis. Oops. Right. There's our yesterday, and there's our yesterday. Right. There's our yesterday. We're sitting inside right now. And is there much movement in either way? Is there much direction? Not really. Got buyers down here. I think the rest of the day would be kind of slow. And again, we're bracketed either way. So I think we probably go down the middle. So again, opening print, not so much today for this one. NQ, did we have anything? 9:15. We're kind of again, we're kind of at a peak. We were past the level, so yeah, it was kind of set up for more of a short, but nothing that you really wanted to take. And again, you can see it was the 9:30 candle, very, very, very choppy. 10 o'clock, very choppy. And then again, consumer sentiment was down and they just found buyers, right? It's finding buyers down here. So 10:30 reversal from this level, probably. It looks like it's trying to put that in, but I don't see it going much higher. I don't think we're able to clear through the top side of this one. And if we do come long, most likely we have, some drama coming in at this level here. Up along those lines. Right? Yeah. YM. Yeah, the 9:30 candle is the one up here. It just missed. There's a zone up here. We just missed it. It looks like. Um, It had some drama. It was fine. It loaded up. You can see it. 9 and 9:15 both loading up. It was strong. Loaded up. News came out. Everybody saw it like, oh my god, we broke over. Again, Globex high. Nope, nope. Globex high was actually here. So here's where the trap came in at the open. Right there's your Globex high. It kind of pulled back, and people are like, oh my god, we're above the Globex high. Go. And then it started to push back down again. So YM is the strongest of the day. So again, if anything goes higher, um, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. My wife's sorry, I say my wife, but you guys all know Melissa. Yeah, so Melissa's at a consignment sale sending me pictures. I was like, well, if you see anything that's worth it, send me a picture back again. Um, so she sends me one of the organization custom helmets that we got like 3, 4 years ago. I think we paid 100, for them. Right. So we're trying to build up a supply so we can give kids helmets because I don't know if you guys are familiar with lacrosse. Lacrosse is getting so overpriced. It's absolutely unreal. To outfit a player in new gear now is like $800. It's like getting worse than hockey. Right. So we're trying to get things so we could, for kids to try the sport out that we can let them, basically rent gear for the year. So one of our old custom helmets doesn't look like it was used much. They're selling it at a consignment sale. And I was like, how much? She's like $20. I'm like, get it. I was like, for $20. I'm like, I think we paid 150 for those things. I was like, I could put that back in the inventory and then use that for the next couple of years to give out to kids to try the sport. And then she sends me she gets very angry. It's a costume, a girl's costume, but it's a quite racist. It's a very racist thing. She's all fired up now. She's like, "This is bull." I'm like, "I got it, Melissa." So my wife gets. She's very small, but very spirited. Very spirited. Russell. What do we got? Same thing. It did its pullback. It actually kind of missed by just a little bit. Let's see. Was it a fib? Was it a fib short on this one? It was. You can see again, kind of the same thing. Here's your Globex high here at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were sitting right above it. There was a 23.6 right there. Everybody was trapped to believe, hey, we're going long today, guys. We just broke through the overnight highs. We're rallying up this morning. And then what happened? Boom, straight back to the downside. So again, two nice little bull traps in there. Again, breaking through those Globex high, also accompanied by a 23.6 level in there. So again, pretty easy setups for those to take those short. Overall today, though, I don't think there's enough enough pieces out there. In Canada, we're not expecting a recession. No, I think there'll be a slowdown. I don't know that a recession is a real thing. Here you go, talking about look, CNBC is like, yep, we need to hold it. We need to hold them where they are. Again, he's smoking something. And again, the public believes it. The data shows it, and he's trying to, I guess, make a name for himself. So It is what it is. It's crazy. So overall, in the last 24 hours, a lot of the trades came in from yesterday. There was a few setups this morning that were decent on pullbacks. Again, where the dollar has been pushing, again, things like the dollar, gold, silver, all great setups for over the weekend for reversals for next week. Again, if you're able to catch those, I think those are all good. All right, with that, let's go ahead and swap over and do the giveaway today. It is for 50 pip chips. So Debbie, you're going for 100. Everybody else is going for 50 because obviously I missed yesterday, so I need to make sure that I throw that in there. I will give you guys to 315. I always give those 30 seconds because I know there is a delay in there. Um, yeah, yeah, a little delay action. It's so funny. She's like, yeah, look, there's one of your helmets. I'm like, yes, we bought those helmets 3 years ago, and they have fluorescent green cages on the front of them, so you can't really recycle them to many other teams. So it's kind of like a one use team, right? All right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Neuro takes it with 2. He beat Debbie. Debbie, you did the right thing. You should have bought 3 today, Debbie. That was absolutely the right thing. Absolutely the right thing. Right. Neuro takes it. Neuro gets his 50. Right. But that was the right thing, Debbie. But you can't win every day, right? Can't win every day, but that was the right way to play it. So see, you're getting there, Debbie. You're getting there, right? So, all right, with that, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you, guys, and again, I apologize for having to miss yesterday. I was just way too foggy to really do much. Better today, still a little bit foggy. Don't quite have the headache. Been drinking tons of water, and then just still taking it easy. So, yeah. Catch everybody Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'll probably be a zombie. We have a tournament on Saturday. I'm not playing. I'm coaching. But we start at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's an hour and a half away. So I'm really excited about leaving my house at like 5:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning to get there and get a tent set up. It's going to be really exciting. And then I'll come home and sleep. So, yeah. With that, I'm out of here. Have a great trading weekend, everybody. Everybody stay safe, and I'll see you guys Monday morning, 9:30. Take care. Have a good one.